What is the truth about becoming a fashion designer that nobody talks about? There is something nobody really tells you about becoming a fashion designer. It's not just difficult technically, it's difficult emotionally. Because at some point, you stop struggling with the sketching and the pattern making and all that, and you start struggling with doubt, inconsistency, comparison, confusion, self-trust, or lack of self-trust, I should say. That's the part that quietly destroys most people. Not lack of talent, not lack of creativity, but the inability to continue when the excitement wears off. So in this video, I want to talk about the real truth about becoming a fashion designer, the part that nobody really prepares you for. And if you're serious about fashion, this conversation may matter more than any tutorial. I think many people enter fashion design with a fantasy. They imagine creativity, beautiful collections, runway shows, success, recognition, and yes, those moments exist. But what most people don't see is the invisible part of the journey. The years where you feel lost, you feel confused, your work is inconsistent, your confidence goes up and down, you question yourself constantly sometimes. Nobody posts that part online. Nobody does, right? Social media mostly shows the beautiful reels, right? The beautiful parts, not the emotional reality. And that creates a dangerous illusion because many aspiring designers think if this feels hard for me, maybe I'm not meant for this. This is simply not true. This is simply not true. You know, looking back at my own journey, there were many moments where I felt uncertain also. Even after fashion school, after graduating from FIT, even while working in the industry, because creative careers are rarely linear. There are moments where you feel inspired and moments where you feel completely disconnected. Moments where you believe in yourself and moments where you doubt yourself. You question everything. And honestly, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about successful creative people is that they always feel confident. That's a misconception. They don't always feel confident. Many learn how to continue moving forward despite uncertainty. That's a very important difference. And this leads to one of the biggest truths nobody talks about. The real skill is emotional resilience. Emotional resilience. The real challenge of becoming a fashion designer is not just learning fashion, right? It's learning how to handle frustration, comparison, rejection, slow progress, creative self-doubt. Because there will be moments where your work doesn't match your vision yet. That gap can feel painful, especially for creative people. But that gap, that's normal. Every designer you admire today once had terrible sketches, confusing ideas, weak portfolios, self-doubt. Everyone did. The difference is they stayed with the process long enough to improve. I always say to my students, stay in the process. Stay in the process. Have you ever questioned whether you were good enough to become a fashion designer? Be honest, I think many people silently struggle with this, right? So what does actually help someone survive this journey? Not perfection, not obsession, not trying to become successful overnight. What actually matters is consistency, emotional stability, self-awareness, structure, patience. Patience. And this is why many talented people still quit, right? Because talent alone is not enough. You need the ability to continue. That's huge. I've seen students improve dramatically simply because they stopped panicking. They stopped comparing themselves constantly and focused on steady progress instead. Creative growth sometimes is understanding proportion better, or developing your eye and your own style, your own voice, improving your own taste, becoming more disciplined, trusting your instincts more. Those smaller shifts eventually become transformation. And honestly, social media has made this more difficult because aspiring designers, right, are constantly exposed to these polished portfolios, these incredible collections, this AI-generated perfection. And if you're not careful, right, you start feeling like, ooh, I'm not good enough, But what you're seeing online is usually the presentation of mastery, not the years of confusion behind it. You cannot compare your beginnings to someone else's developed craft. That mindset will destroy your momentum. And this next part may be the most important thing I say in this video. The truth about becoming a fashion designer is that eventually it stops being about fashion and it starts becoming about who you are becoming through the process. Your discipline, your resilience, your confidence, your voice, your self-trust. Fashion becomes the vehicle, but the deeper transformation is personal. That's why some people never forget this journey, because it changes them. So if you're in that difficult stage right now, I want you to understand something. You may not be failing. You may not be failing. You may simply be in the middle of becoming. And that's a very different thing. And if you're tired of feeling lost creatively, if you want daily structure and guidance and a clear path forward, instead of constantly second-guessing yourself, that is why I created this new app that I just launched. Become a fashion designer. Because sometimes the struggle is not lack of talent. Sometimes the struggle is simply not knowing what to do next. And if you want deeper fashion education, mentorship, and technical development, that's what we do inside Fashion Premier Academy. To help aspiring designers build both technical skills and creative confidence. And if you want real structure and guidance and a clear path, start with the free mini course. I'll put the link below. And also, if you want to go deeper into this mindset and direction, my book, Design Your Future, Be a Future Designer, is the perfect tool to help you and support you on your journey. So why did I write this book? Let me tell you. After working with so many students over the years, I realized that even though many had the talent, they were missing the mindset, the inner strength and clarity of vision to actually bring their creative dreams to life. And that's what sparked this book. I saw the need for something that could guide aspiring designers, not just in their craft, but in their confidence, direction, and self-belief. I will be reading selections from this book every week so that you can get a first-hand feel for what this book is really about and how it can inspire your own journey. So stay tuned, follow along, and if you're ready to dive in right now, well, the book is available on Amazon in both the paperback version and the ebook as well. And if this video helped you see things more clearly, please subscribe. Because here, we're not just talking about fashion, we're talking about building a real future. I'll see you in class. Design your future now.